Hello everyone, it's Friday and you're watching Within the Frame. I'm Kim Bo-kyung. A trade show for electronics that will leave you in awe. The annual Consumer Electronics Show, which kicked off on January 9th in Las Vegas, has attracted 4,000 companies from all around the world, presenting their future visions with their own technologies. Themed All Together, All On, this year's show is almost coming to an end with the last day scheduled to be on the 12th. What has been main focus of the world's biggest tech fair, and specifically what new paradigms have South-Korean tech suggested there? For this, we invite Professor Eric Kim of Yonsei University and Keio University. He is also the founder and CEO of Datacrunch Global. Welcome, Professor Kim.
Thank you for having me.
And we also have Richard Lai, Senior Reporter Asia of Engadget. Good to see you, Richard.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, Richard, first question to you. The world's premier tech show, 2024 CES, is now nearing its end for this year. The annual event drew more than 130,000 attendees and over 4,000 exhibitors from 150 countries and regions. Now, what are the details and how was the atmosphere there?
So yes, 130,000 attendees. So based on that figure, we're expecting about a 10% growth compared to last year. And from what I saw earlier this year, the show floor was definitely busier. There were big areas dedicated to digital health, mixed reality, smart home, and startups, all of which were quite busy. So that's a very good sign for the whole electronics industry.
All right, it must be really exciting. I wish I were there. Now, Richard, thank you for your wrap-up. Professor Kim. The hottest topic of the trade show was definitely artificial intelligence, with major companies responding in full force following this AI hype that was created by OpenAI's ChatGPT. But why is it so important for us to actually know about artificial intelligence?
I think the keyword for this year's CES is AI, mobility, healthcare, and sustainability. And AI is the enabler of mobility, healthcare, and also sustainability. What was really different last year and this year was that we understood that AI is not tomorrow, it's today. With the experience of ChatGPT, that was a major change in how we perceive technology and how we anticipate how the future will be with these technologies. We can't now imagine a world without AI because AI is in the center of the technology, and we are in the stage of using generative AI. So those kind of realness was really important. And why do we have to understand AI? Is because it's going to change our lives so much, so that we have to understand where the world is heading to and where the technology is heading to. So if you see Sam Altman's project like Tools for Humanity, he's also interested in identifying what is human, because there will be AI bots and things like that. So those kind of areas are being hot, and it's the era that we really focus on how the world is going to change. So that's the reason why AI is very hot.
All right, I see. It's quite interesting how you pointed out that AI is what enables all the other sectors. All right. Now, Richard, let's take a look at how South Korean companies are doing at CES this year, one by one. First is Samsung Electronics. It focused on utilizing on-device AI by showcasing many products, including an AI-powered TV, its SmartThings platform, and so on. Could you elaborate more on what Samsung wanted to show?
So there are mainly two areas. Let's focus on TV image quality first. So Samsung is using AI to boost its upscaling quality to 8K because the truth is there's not much 8K content available at the moment. And of course, Samsung would still want to sell more 8K TVs before 8K becomes mainstream. And this is where AI comes in. It helps enhance the perceived sharpness while reducing visible noise on each pixel. And there's also an AI tool for automatically setting the user's preferred picture quality. So you basically have an AI assistant helping you with your TV setup. And then to get more people interested in the smart home environment, Samsung is also turning TVs into smart home control hubs with a new interface. So you're able to control your smart home devices directly from the TV. And then they also introduced a new version of its Bolly robot ball, which is like your new cute butler at home, being the center of your home, and it'll also help you control your smart home devices. And of course, this is all leading up to the launch of the Galaxy S24 series smartphones later this month, which Samsung has already said it's going to go big on AI features, which would obviously then lead back to an enhanced experience with smart home interaction, and likely also with on-device generative AI to help boost your productivity.
All right, very interesting. Now, Professor Kim, LG Electronics too emphasized AI technology across its range of home appliances and products as well. How did you see them? And since we're talking about LG Electronics, its new wireless transparent TV was a huge hit, was it?
Yes, first of all, it won the Best of CES 2024 award by Engadget, so Engadget. So that was one of phenomenal. And if we think about television, we used it many decades ago, before we go to bed or when we were having dinner. So we use it for a limited purpose. You have to come home, and that's when you watch television. But over a couple of decades, as digitalization has emerged, TV is now becoming a device for display, for media contents. So it's not only used as watching content that is broadcasted, but it's more like a display. And people want display everywhere. So LG's technology is very interesting and very sensational, that they took off the TV from the walls and putting it in the living space. And it's transparent, which has a lot of applications. So anything that has a glass has a potential to replace it with this technology. For example, advertising companies are considering putting it on sliding doors, so that they can use it for advertisement panels and on elevators. So there's so much application that we can think about having this technology.
All right, I wish I had a chance to actually see this transparent TV. It sounds so interesting.
It is.
Right. Now, Richard, we cannot leave out SK Group's Wonderland theme park, which offered a glimpse into the group's commitment to green technologies and AI-powered products for a net zero future. What did the park show, and how was it received there?
Well, everyone loved it because, well, first of all, the exhibition is titled Inspire Happiness, which is very fitting. I've heard so much good feedback about it, about that area, and many people took photos in front of this massive LED ball, which is clearly paying homage to the new Sphere landmark in Las Vegas. But going back to this theme park, it featured many futuristic train ride. Oh, there was a train ride. There was a flying carpet feature, and then there was also an AI fortune teller. So each of these features are promoting a type of green tech offered by SK Group. So we're talking about hydrogen energy, electric vehicle charging, urban air mobility, and plastic to fuel confusion. These are obviously very important for a net zero future, and it's obviously a very pretty clever way of getting people interested at a trade show like CES. And I'd love to go back again tomorrow just to check it out properly.
Really, sounds interesting. Richard, have you tried the AI fortune teller?
No, I didn't have enough time to get to that. There was a long line for that.
All right, I see. Now, Professor Kim, let's move on to mobility, another keyword of this year's CES. Hyundai Motors made hydrogen and software as their top priority for future visions. Could you tell us more about what direction Hyundai Motors is trying to go?
So Hyundai Motors' motto is human-centric lifestyle innovation, and they're aiming to build a better world with Hyundai Motors product and services. So if you think about a traditional automobile industry, they are limited to manufacture automobiles because the energy sources are coming from natural resources like oil, and which is not possessed in every country. It's concentrated in certain regions. So you can't do backward integration getting into the energy field. But as we have advanced to a electrical vehicle scene, now companies have a potential to go back to the energy source, which Hyundai Motors is focusing on hydrogen energy. And also, automobiles are being electricalized. We're making electrical vehicles. So we also have a potential that the automobile manufacturer serves as a software platform. That's a play that Hyundai Motors is trying to do. And beyond that, Hyundai Motors is also really interested in advanced air mobility, AAM. So they showcased their, prototype under SuperN, which really looked cool, and they're trying to build a future of coming from a automobile company to an aviation company. Now, if we think how is that possible and why that was not possible, is because we did not have the infrastructure, especially telecommunication infrastructure, to control aviation. Because if you think about modern days aviation, you need a control tower. Think about like 10,000 AAMs flying on the sky. You can't control it with a control tower. You need AI technology and advanced telecommunication technology to control those flying, vehicles. And now, since we have the infrastructure, we can think about advanced form of mobility, which Hyundai Motors is aiming to seize the market to create a better world for people.
All right. Well, since our Professor Kim brought up this, the air vehicles.
AAM.
Yes, ANMs. Richard, I'd like to ask you this question. So, like our professor said, Hyundai's US-based air taxi unit SuperN showcased the prototype of the S82 with an electric vertical takeoff and landing at the trade show. What is special about this? Could you elaborate more on this?
So this is actually SuperN's second generation electric, so they call it the electric vertical takeoff and landing prototype, or EVTOL in short. So this vehicle can reach a cruise speed of up to around 193 kilometers per hour and at up to an altitude of 457 meters. And it can travel to a distance of up to 64 kilometers, depending on how many batteries it's carrying. And the special thing about this aircraft is that since it's fully electric, SuperN says it's almost as quiet as a dishwasher. So I'm really keen on trying this out, trying to ride on one if I'm ever allowed to try one. And the company even says this vehicle will be ready for production by 2028. So that's 4 years from now. But as Professor Kim said, this will probably still depend on the regulatory approval process around the world. So that's something for us to look forward to.
Quiet as a dishwasher. Richard, I really hope you get a chance to ride it.
Likewise, yes.
All right. Now, Professor Kim, let's turn our eyes to LG Display. It unveiled a set of game-changing automobile displays for software-defined vehicles. But how promising is this area?
So let's think about if you have a unmanned vehicle, right? You're not driving, then what are you going to do in the car? You're going to probably watch, contents, talk to your friend or work, etc., right? So automobile is turning into a space, not a vehicle that simply you use for mobility. It's more converting into a space concept. Then if you're isolated in space, usually what we do is we watch things.
Right.
And that's where display is becoming very, very important. Second, because the automobiles are transforming into electrical vehicles, informatics is very important. So having a wide screen, giving information about the traffic situation and everything is desired by customers. So LG Display has cool technologies to do that. They call it P2P, pillar to pillar, from the driving seat to the assistant seat. A wide panel can be implemented, and they also have a sliding, a screen technology. So because they're advanced with their transparent television technology, they can apply all these cool stuff to promising future vehicles.
All right, thank you for your explanation, Professor. Now, Richard, we have been mainly focusing on Korea's tech giants. But if there were any other noteworthy products or visions global tech companies proposed, could you share them with us?
Well, one product that I was really impressed with was the X-Real Air 2 Ultra. These are AR glasses with inside-out tracking, meaning you can wear them and walk around in a room and interact with a virtual space. And the reason why I'm interested in this product is because this is also the year where Apple is launching its Vision Pro, and they call it a spatial computing device. Now, obviously, these are two slightly different kinds of spatial computing devices. But as I mentioned earlier, CES still has a dedicated area to mixed reality products. And it's clear that there's still a momentum in this area, especially given Apple's new latest development. And they're actually going on sale in the US next month for the Apple Vision Pro. So that's one thing. And I also came across a wearable device from a Japanese startup called Aroma Join. It's able to shoot up to 6 kinds of aroma to my face when I'm, depending on the video content I'm watching. And you can also apply this to maybe a VR application. So say I'm walking through a forest, then I can smell the freshly cut grass. Or maybe when I'm at a cafe drinking a caramel coffee, I can smell caramel. Or maybe when I'm going through an industry area, then I can smell smoke, which is not that nice, but it just creates this immersion, which has been a missing piece of puzzle in the VR world, or AR for that matter. So that's one of my several highlights from CES 2024.
Interesting indeed, Richard. Thank you for sharing it with us. Now, before we wrap up the show, I'd like to ask this last question to both of our experts. First, Professor Kim. So overall, how did you assess this year's CES? I mean, what kind of key points were you able to witness?
So CES, I think CES is always about hope, I think, because it's the first event, a major event that we do at the beginning of the year. So when we're starting the year, we always think about hope, and the cool technologies are being showcased. So we think about hope. I think last year's CES was talking about tomorrow. We're talking about near future technology. But this year's CES was more about, I think, today. Like AI is today, and mobility is not far. It's coming right at the corner. And we're thinking about how we apply these technologies today. Probably a couple of years from now, we're going to talk about what human is. So already this year, we're all talking about human lifestyle. How does AI technology help our lives? How does healthcare, mobility help our lives as humans? And in the road, we're going to talk about how do we distinguish between human and technology, like what Sam Altman is doing right now through the Tools for Humanity. So those kind of topics will emerge in the future, I think.
All right, so this year's was about hope and today.
Yes.
All right. Richard, can I ask your opinion as well?
For me, CES 2024 is about renewed momentum, especially in the space of mixed reality or spatial computing, if you want to call it that, as well as home robotics, because I feel like last year the development of both spaces had slowed down a bit. But based on what I saw on the show floor here at CES, there's definitely some new momentum gained. As I mentioned earlier, mixed reality, it's all thanks to Apple's upcoming Vision Pro launch. And then with home robotics, there's a mixture of, Samsung decided to bring back its Bali robot, which was a big surprise for us. And of course, there was a whole range of these home robotics devices that help you clean a pool or cut grass and things like that. So that's clearly some renewed momentum here, which is always good to see. And of course, with both categories, they can benefit from this new AI that we're already seeing a lot of benefit today. So it's got to be an interesting year for smart home and on-device AI for sure.
All right, I see a renewed momentum and home robotics. All right, Richard. Well, unfortunately, this is all the time we have for today's edition. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you, Professor Kim, for your time and insights.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, that's all for Within the Frame tonight. Thank you for watching and goodbye.